According to a new investigation taking place in the state of Michigan, Donald Trump's allies in the state, elected Republican officials, allowed third parties that they didn't really even know to access voting equipment in at least 3 Republican-controlled counties. So far, this investigation, which has now reached the level where police have seized some of this equipment as part of their ongoing investigation that centers around these Republicans that allowed this to happen. But what we know is that in these 3 counties that are controlled by Republicans, Donald Trump won by large margins. Okay, there was no question, there was no contest. Donald Trump easily won these conservative areas in the state of Michigan. But what happened, so far as we know, is that these Republican officials that oversaw these counties and districts still weren't happy. They believed Donald Trump's big lie. Some of them actually participated in the lawsuits in the state seeking to overturn the state's election results. But again, the big problem is that they allowed these, quote, third parties to come in and take voting equipment with them, which right there on its face is 100% illegal. These officials didn't even know who these people were, according to the investigation right now. Now, it may come out later that they did know who they were, but again, these were counties Trump won. So there would have been no reason for these individuals, especially after a state audit had already proved there was no widespread fraud, because this happened after that. So you already had confirmation from the Republican-controlled legislature that there was no widespread fraud. The Republicans commissioned that audit. No fraud. Trump won these counties, but you still said, hey, strangers, come on in, take this home with you. Go look through it, see what you can find. 100% illegal, and people will probably be going to jail for this. But I don't think that those third parties that took that equipment were looking for fraud. My best guess, and again, this is purely a guess from me, my best guess is that they were trying to create fraud. Not even necessarily in this particular election. They took vote count tabulators. They took hard drives. They took all kinds of things that they could access and figure out how to access again remotely in the future. That's where my concern lies. I mean, we're almost talking about a bit of a, reverse engineering process here. If we get the machine, if we understand the machine, if we know how to get into the machine, we can get into the machines in the future. We can get in and change the votes. We can get in and delete the votes. We can get in and make sure that Donald Trump never loses an election again for the rest of his life. That is my concern here. They knew there was no fraud already. They knew Trump already won the areas where these machines were used. So they had nothing to prove. They had nothing to gain other than understanding how this equipment works and how they can remotely access it in the future. Again, purely my hypothesis here, but unfortunately, it's the only thing that actually makes sense.
This is Hattie. Hattie wants to know why you have not subscribed to our channel. You obviously like our videos, so do us a favor and subscribe.